I've got an update on my model railroad layout, and I'm going to spend a couple minutes talking about how I got everything together here. And in the last video, I had everything on the floor and ready to screw together. And so what I did is I went ahead and screwed all of the boards together, the frame, not the legs, and then I put it up on the legs. And I had to do that a little bit at a time so the whole thing wouldn't break. But I started in one corner and I screwed the leg in about halfway up and went around the whole table and then raised it up gradually a little bit at a time, and that way the whole thing didn't break apart. But I finally did get it all up working alone. I was able to put it all up in about an hour and then screwed the top down. And I possibly will do a little bit more reinforcing work on it, but it's pretty sturdy the way it turned out. And having this half-inch plywood on top made the whole thing add a lot of strength to the whole outfit. So anyway, I got a whole bunch done here in the last week, and one of the things I had to do was I had to incorporate, or I wanted to incorporate pieces from my old layout, which was made out of a 1/4-inch mahogany. And it was suspended, and if you look at some of my old videos you can see how that looked, but I had it hanging from the ceiling. And anyway, so when I took it down and when we moved, I was able to salvage some of the sections that I had, some of the wiring in, the lights, some of the buildings that I had glued down, and I salvaged those sections and I moved them over here, and they had about a 32-inch radius for the curves. And so anyways, I was able to get a couple of them incorporated now, and we'll go around and I'll show you all that, but you can see some of it in the background here. And to start out with, after figuring out where I'm going to put them, I drew out with the black pen all of my curves and then just started assembling the layout. But I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the camera and we'll just go around and I'll show you some of the challenges that I had in putting this thing together. And I think one of the main things was trying to figure out how these curves are going to work. And I wanted to get the widest radius possible. And so you can see right down here, this was kind of my key elements right here is this switch. And this area in the center here is going to be where there's logging and the gravel pit. And so I had to for sure get a switch in here. And then I have this crossover area here that I had to incorporate and determine whether I wanted to put a bridge here or if I wanted to just like have this go into the side of a hill and have like a tunnel portal right here. And I think that's what I'm going to go with. And I think I'll be building like a big hill right back here. And this track right here will be concealed underneath the hill. And it'll come out down here somewhere in this area. And anyway, so I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit, but so here's the piece that I wanted to incorporate. One of the pieces here, and you might recognize this off one of my old videos, but this is the area here where I had the operating lights and some of the street lights, and also these buildings that I have here are lighted. And so I'm going to have to do a little bit more landscaping work on here. But I have this screwed down solid right now, like all this piece right here is totally screwed down. And I had to get the grade, you know, you can see it's gradually comes up, you know, and then right here we have to go underneath, we have to go over the other track. So the challenge was, you know, starting from right here and going around here, I had to gradually raise it up. I wanted no more than a 2% grade. And to get over to here so I could cross over there. And then I wanted enough room in here for my gravel pit and my logging, and that's going to be major part of my layout, you know, is this area in here. And there's going to be a few more buildings in here. I'll be moving in here to this area. But you can see what I did is I measured every foot, and then I used pine boards and made the risers out of them, and then I just screwed the mahogany to them. And here I marked it on there so I remember that one's 1 inch, you know, and this next one here 1 3/8 inch, and I actually went a little bit further than a foot, which would have been right there. And then this whole area right here is level. And so that's the thickness of the board, which is 3/4 of an inch. And then so I just kept this area right here level where the buildings are going to be. And then the grade increases a little bit through here. And then this whole area here is also level. And these trees are from this stuff is just what I moved from the old layout. This stuff is all glued down. And I was really happy at the way everything turned out. And once we get to here, I'm not quite sure, if I'm going to raise this up anymore, because what I have here is 2 3/4 inch clearance, and I want a tunnel portal there, and some of this is going to be hidden, and I may or may not just leave it just like this. But anyway, we'll just continue around the layout, going this way, and this part is screwed down to here. And then this next section here I haven't totally figured out yet. But anyways, so now we're looking at, it's where I'm going to have the big forest right in here. And we're going to have active timber logging with horse logging and loading up of logs onto flat cars. Okay, now this is the other area I wanted to incorporate. Now this again is from the old layout. And there's the lights that I had wired. And again, I used the same system. I figured out, how high my risers had to be to get my 1% grade. And then I just marked on here every foot, it's 1/4 inch less. Here's 2 inches, 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches here. And then this piece is not yet screwed down. And I can just lift this up all together and get this out of the way. There, and then you can kind of see how I do it. And here we have 1 3/4 inches, 1.5 inches, 1 inch, and these are all 1 inch and 3/4 inch here. And then I just marked it right along where the track is going to go. And then I have the rest of the track marked out for this area here, where we're going to have this loop through here with the industrial area, and it's going to come back and then meet up over there and meet up back underneath the bridge there. And then over here, this whole area here is going to be the hump yard. And here's a picture of it like this, but all this area I'm looking at right here. And this is posted elsewhere out here, but this was a rough idea of how I'm going to build it. And I'm going to have to modify it a little bit. But essentially, that's how we're going to store our train cars. So there's our update on the layout, and I'm real happy with the way things are progressing. And all I got left to do is, well, the next step, of course, is to finish this in here with some support underneath this. And then I don't know if I'm going to either start landscaping in this part and get this part done, or just continue with my track and just get my track roughed in, and so I can at least do a loop with my train while I'm getting it built. So that's all for the update, and thanks for watching.